Hi, today we're talking about fraction addition and we're working specifically with unlike denominators. So we know the top number here is the numerator. I'm going to put an N to help me remember that. And the bottom number is the denominator. So some people like to say, nod your head, and that helps you remember. And then you shake your denominator, and that would be your bottom section. So that's another way that people remember that. So the numerator and the denominator, and those are the terms we're going to be using, so it's really important that you know those. So the first thing that we are going to do when we're adding our fractions is we check the denominator. If the denominator is the same, well then you can add straight across, keep the denominator, and you're good to go. But here the denominator is not the same. So we're going to have to find a common denominator. To do that, I list my multiples of each. So I go 6. Okay, what are the multiples of 6? 6, 12, 18, 24, 30. And I like to get, a few listed out. And now I'm going to list the multiples of 8. So 8, I have 16. And then 8 times 3 would be 24. And then 32. I really don't need to go any further because I found one that's going to work for me. So I find the lowest common multiple. That sometimes is called LCM, lowest common multiple. So it's the multiple that's the lowest that they have in common. So they did not have 12 in common. Going to cross this out. Did not have 16. 18, no. 24, they did have in common. I like to circle it. That helps my brain know which one I'm going to be using. And because we made a nice little T-chart here, I can see that it's 8 times 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, or 6 times 1, 2, 3, 4. So now I need to change my denominators up here. So I have 4/6. Sorry about that. And I'm going to change the 6 denominator into a 24 denominator. So I know that's what I'm going to end up with over here. Okay, but how am I going to do that? Well, 6 times what is 24? 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm going to multiply 4 over 4. And sometimes people ask, well, why 4 over 4? Well, what is 4 over 4? Well, 4 over 4 is equivalent to 1 whole. And I know the rule is that anything times 1 is always itself. So that's how I can find an equivalent fraction. So 6 times 4 is 24. 4 times 4, 16. So now I have 16 24s. So I'm going to put that, let's actually change it as we go. Let me get my eraser. For 6 becomes 16 over 24. And now I need to change my 8s into 24. So we have 6 8s. 8 times what was 24? We're going to do the same process, but instead of multiplying it by 4, I have to figure out 8 times what is 24? Well, 1, 2, 3. So this time it's 3 over 3. 6 times 3, 18. 8 times 3 is 24, so this is 18 24. And I'm going to add straight across. 16 plus 18, we can do that up here. $34. So now I have 34 over 24. I can take my 34, 24. Oh, that's an improper fraction, so I need to change it into a proper fraction. Well, I would need 24 little pieces to make one whole. So 24 from 34, that'd give me 10 one whole and 10 24s. Again, I can still simplify. So I want to list now the factors of 10 and 24. So the factors of 10 and 24, well, 10 would be 1 and 10, 2 and 5. 3 won't work. 4 won't work. I already did 5. So 1 and 10, no, 1 and 10 won't go in. 2, I could do 2. So 10 divided by 2 is 5. 24 divided by 2 is 12. So I'd have 1 whole and 5 twelfths. So my answer to 4 6 plus 8 6 is 1 whole and 12 sixths. Now it might seem like there's a lot of steps, but really the steps are manageable if you keep track of them. So let's go through and kind of write out the simple steps. The first thing we did was we checked to see if our denominator was the same. Because if the denominator is the same, we don't need to change it. So check for like denominators. We're going to put yes and no. If it's yes, add numerators. And keep the denominator. If it's no, then you need to change to like denominators. And then you come over here, you'll add the numerators, keep the denominator, and our next step would be to simplify. So those are the steps for adding with fractions. Enjoy!